Tax reform for both businesses and individuals will be key under the Trump administration. With President-elect Donald Trump's proposals, most middle-class Americans would see a modest tax cut, but not everyone will benefit. His plan eliminates the personal exemption and head of household filing status, which means that nearly 8 million families might actually pay slightly higher taxes, according to the Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center. Let's bring in EY America's Vice Chair of Tax Services, Kate Barton, who can also talk about corporate taxes. But in terms of what Trump's doing with the individual, his plan for at least individual rates, would some people see a slight tax hike?
It could happen. I mean, right now it's early to say. There'll be a lot of negotiations that happen. But clearly the idea is the tax rates are going down, but the base on the tax rates will broaden. And so there'll be less deductions and certainly on the individual side, less exemptions.
Which, Bob, isn't really, if you're going to do true tax reform,
yes,
that is inevitable.
Yeah, it is.
Not everybody is going to benefit.
No, I think there has to be some trade-offs, and I think Trump is looking at that in a very responsible way, and we'll have to see what unfolds. But, Kate, thanks for being here today. You have a huge responsibility, running tax for EY throughout the Americas, and I know that you're in a lot of boardrooms. And tell us a little bit about what you think or what you're hearing relative to Trump, relative to corporate tax, repatriation, incentives, and so forth. What should we look forward to? You got your thumb on the pulse of this thing in these major corporations.
Sure. For the first time, I really think that everyone thinks tax reform is in the wind and that this could really happen over the next calendar year. So it might take the Reconciliation Act in order to get it, but it's coming. So a lot of companies right now are focused on three things. First, they're trying to model out what the ramifications are of the House Republican blueprint as well as the Trump proposal. So you have to do your calculations and figure out where you stand.
They're already doing that.
They're already doing that. Everybody.
That's kind of exciting.
It is,
I mean,
actually.
If you really want the economy to improve.
Absolutely. You need to know where you stand. And then once you do, you need to figure out your strategy. Are you going to go down to Congress and lobby on, the provisions? Because there's going to be a lot of horse trading that goes on. So you need to understand, are you going to do that individually or are you going to do that through an industry group? But you need your strategy. How's your voice going to be heard in Congress? And then the third thing you need to think about is this could be an all-time high of a tax rate that we have right now. So we call it no regrets planning. Can you do deductions right now, accelerate your deductions, and defer income? So you need to make sure that you take advantage of the current environment that we have right now.
This is money that will flow directly to a company's bottom line. Talk about, is the sky the limit in terms of what companies could do in terms of hiring and investment if this gets pushed through quickly?
Well, this is a good part of what we'll need to do to get a GDP back. Every time this administration has come out, 3.5% GDP, first quarter they start walking it back. So we have continual low and slow, right, Kate? But
that's right.
I think the tax thing, repatriation, what are you hearing about corporations, Dagan, to your point, if they get trillions of dollars back, stock buyback, capital reinvestment, job creation, what's your take on that, Kate?
Well, I think companies are really interested in what provision will come in. Certainly, both the House Republican blueprint as well as the Trump proposals contemplate a mandatory repatriation of earnings coming back. Hopefully an attractive tax rate, maybe 8%, and that will stimulate the economy. So that's one aspect. I think the other thing that's in the House Republican blueprint that companies are focused on is this new concept called a border tax. And so it's a value-add tax that would come in through the income tax. And that is really to incentivize exportation and really to penalize importation. So that's kind of got a lot of companies right now really doing calculations. Are they a winner or a loser?
Kate, it was great to see you.
Thank you.
This is exciting stuff.
It is.
Again, everybody indirectly or directly could benefit from this.
Absolutely.
Kate Barton, it was terrific to see you come back, please.
Thank you.
Thanks.